So we've had a slightly early start this morning. That's because we've been picking up a passenger. It's a new car day, Phil.
Oh yes it is, isn't it? Yes.
What have we bought this time?
Well, should we keep people in suspense for just a little bit longer?
I think so. Let's hit the road and go and pick up something rather interesting.
Yeah, exactly. I've got some reading material on the way, Joe, so that'll be good.
Excellent. Climb aboard.
We hit the road in high spirits despite the weather. After stopping for fuel and snacks, we considered the new car.
Kind of nervous.
You've seen the car before though, you know what you're...
Yeah, but do you know what? It happens every time I buy a car. I get apprehensive. Like, is it the car I remember when I first bought it?
Did you go in overexcited? Because I know what you mean, that one that was on Car and Classic, and it was like 400
You've
quid.
just gone the wrong way, by the way.
Oh, that's wonderful. I just thought I'd do a little parade lap, you know.
I mean, it's nice to have a tour of Tesco.
Well, exactly, you know.
So this is Leatherhead. This was voted one of the worst high streets in England, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
What class is a bad high street?
I don't know, actually. There's nothing particularly wrong with it, but there's nothing right about it either. It's just one of those places where there are just better towns around it. So there's Reigate up the road and Epsom.
Ah, okay.
Both of which are probably nicer towns than Leatherhead. So it's just not. It's not the case that it's bad. It's just that there are better places, which might be a metaphor for the car that we're going to collect. So I'm just putting it out there.
That's actually it's the Leatherhead of cars.
Yes.
Is that a hint?
That's what we're going to do. We're going to buy the Leatherhead of cars.
There you go. Comment below.
Just thought, actually, coming up in the next few weeks is the 600th issue of Classic Car Buyer.
It is, yes.
Issue 600. What we need is a car to celebrate 600 issues of Classic Car Buyer.
We do, but I was thinking Mercedes S600, but we've already got one potentially financially ruinous saloon car. We need a saloon car that's a bit more reliable, a bit more dependable, and a bit financially easier to own.
Yeah, that can celebrate 600 issues of Classic Car Buyer.
The drive continued, with Phil providing highbrow conversation.
It's a smart 4.4 back there.
There is, that's an unusual vehicle.
Well, I always said that they should have done an all-wheel drive version for the Spanish market, and then it could have been the Smart 4.4 por favor. That's what I said at the launch. They didn't take my recommendation on board.
4.4.
Por favor.
Oh my god.
That's what I went with.
Oh dear.
Anyway.
Here we are, the big reveal. Here is our lovely Rover 600. And not just any 600, this is the top of the range 623 GSI. So you've got the alloy wheels, you've got the leather interior, you've got the 156 brake horsepower Honda double overhead camshaft engine. What I like about this is it's a fairly honest car, an honest example of the Rover 600. It's not perfect by any means, it's obviously a 22-year-old car for a start, but if we take a little sort of down the flanks, the paintwork's all right, but there's a few little imperfections. We've got this little ding here, we've got a bit of crud here in the lower arch here. Tried to feel underneath the seals, it doesn't look that bad, but time will tell whether we bought two cars instead of one. Bit of bubble in there, few little parking scrapes on the bumper, bit more crud again down here. The tyres are good all round. I can't vouch for the brand, I think it's got an iffy brand on the back, but take a look at the interior. Look at how straight that leather interior is, no wear, tear, scuffs or anything like that. Absolutely awful steering wheel covers, that's got to come off, absolutely horrendous things. But yeah, the overall interior condition is really, really good, I think. Electric adjustment for the seats, air conditioning, electric windows, electric mirrors. It all works, I think. The wing and the bonnet don't look exactly the right shade, but I don't know whether that's like a wing's being repaired at some point. And this being a V-plate, of course, this is pretty much one of the last examples of a 600, because of course they would have had Rover 75s on a V-reg, so this is pretty much one of the last examples. But National Trust membership sticker, that's always a good sign, I reckon. Yeah, I don't know, time will tell whether we bought a good one, but I really like it. So here we are, we're inside this fantastic Rover 623 It's done that German executive saloon thing where they've only put 600 on the back so that we don't shame the people that have only got a poverty spec 620. They're getting rarer, the Rover 600. Some people might think that's a good thing, but I just think they represent a really important part of Rover history, for good and for bad. Also, I never thought it was bad that they were based on Hondas. You know, people were sort of critical of that. So first assessments then. It's running well, touch wood. The engine's purring away quite nicely. The temperature gauge is slap bang in the middle. It's so difficult to value a car like this as well, because I've seen Rover 600s for sale for 350 quid. And I've also seen them for sale for £5,000. Now, that top valuation is crazy. There's no way they're worth £5,000 unless they've got £4,000 of cash in the boot. We paid £1,500 for it. The bodywork is not pristine. It's not a concourse example. There's a bit of colour matching issue between the bonnet and the wing, and there's a bit of bubbling here and there, but none of it looks structural yet. I say the interior is just unmarked. Like the wood is in really good shape. I've seen more expensive plusher cars with wood veneer show far greater levels of wear and tear. For me, it's a personal thing. I do really like the Rover 600. I'd even stick my neck out and say I think I prefer the Rover 600 to the Rover 75 that replaced it. I think the things that need doing to it are all sort of tidying up, cosmetic jobs. So time will tell whether we bought a good example or not. But I think I'm going to look forward to finding out just how good the Rover 600 is. I think they're great, but we will see over the next few months and hopefully many thousands of miles. So watch this space. My mobile phone battery might go flat before I get home, but it's okay because the previous owner left their phone charger for a Nokia 3310, which is therefore no use for an iPhone.